Welcome to another journey through literature.
Great to be here.
Today, we're embarking on a focused exploration of a real classic, a tale that's really chilled and captivated readers for generations. Robert Louis Stevenson's The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
An absolute cornerstone.
Exactly. And this isn't just, a story of suspense. It's a pretty profound dissection of human nature itself, all cloaked in that foggy Victorian London atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Our exploration today centers specifically on the very first chapter, Story of the Door.
Right, the beginning.
Think of it not just as an intro, but more like the master blueprint for the whole narrative.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
Our mission is to peel back the layers of this foundational chapter, understand its specific, intricate contributions to the novel as a whole.
Okay.
We'll be scrutinizing it through several critical lenses. Character psychology and motivation, that intricate web of Victorian social context, Stevenson's really ingenious narrative choices, and the powerful, kind of haunting symbolism he uses.
Precisely. And because we're starting right at the very beginning, chapter 1, there's no, preceding narrative to recap.
Right, we jump straight in.
We're plunging straight into the central enigma, the bewildering mystery that Stevenson immediately unfurls for us.
Yeah.
Imagine this scene, if you will. A seemingly ordinary Sunday stroll through the respectable, orderly streets of London.
Very proper.
Very proper. It's a comforting ritual, symbol of stability, right?
Mhm.
But this mundane setting is abruptly shattered by a truly disturbing encounter. And with it, the sudden, unsettling introduction of one of literature's most enigmatic and chilling villains.
Instantly memorable, too.
Oh, absolutely. This chapter doesn't just introduce a character, it immediately poses this crucial, unsettling question. It's a question that's going to haunt not only the characters within the novel, but us, the readers, for the entire journey. What is the true nature of this mysterious Mr. Hyde? And maybe even more baffling, how is he inexplicably, disturbingly linked to the seemingly upright, unimpeachable world of Victorian gentlemen that Stevenson so meticulously portrays?
Yeah, that contrast is immediate.
It is. It's a question that sets the very foundation of this complex tale.
So let's unpack this opening scene then, because
Yeah.
Stevenson, well, he wastes absolutely no time in establishing atmosphere and character, does he?
Not at all. Straight into it.
Our journey begins with Mr. Utterson, the respectable London lawyer, and his distant cousin and friend, Mr. Richard Enfield. They're embarking on their customary Sunday walk.
The ritual.
Exactly. And this isn't just a casual stroll. It's a deeply ingrained ritual, a weekly tradition that right away speaks volumes about the meticulous nature of Victorian life and the characters involved.
Men of habit.
Men of habit, men of their time, absolutely.
Okay.
Let's focus on Mr. Utterson first. Stevenson introduces him with such precise, evocative language it's really worth dwelling on. He's described as lean, long, dusty, dreary.
Not exactly flattering.
No, and these aren't just superficial physical descriptors, are they? They paint this vivid picture of a man who is reserved, maybe even a little austere or, unexpressive on the surface.
Buttoned up.
Very buttoned up. He's certainly not given to outward displays of emotion. Yet beneath this rather dry exterior, Stevenson immediately reveals something remarkable, something that utterly defies those initial impressions.
Right, the contrast again.
He describes Utterson's affection like ivy for his friends. Now think about ivy. It grows slowly, steadily, persistently, right? Attaching itself deeply, almost inextricably.
Tenacious.
Exactly. This metaphor, even these opening lines, beautifully emphasizes Utterson's profound, enduring loyalty. His affection isn't flashy. It's deep-rooted, unwavering, almost a quiet force of nature.
Stands in stark contrast to his reserved demeanor, as you said.
It really does. He's the kind of friend who might not say much, but whose presence is, a constant, reliable source of support. This quiet, steadfast loyalty, this profound sense of duty to those he cares about, it's a defining characteristic. And it's precisely what will drive much of the plot and draw him into the novel's darkest corners.
And that ivy affection is particularly fascinating when we consider the dynamic between Utterson and Enfield.
Right, their friendship.
Their unique friendship is described metaphorically as a nut to crack for many.
Which is a great phrase.
It is. It immediately signals that their bond isn't easily understood by outsiders. It's understated, almost contradictory to, well, maybe our modern notions of what a close friendship should look like.
Less demonstrative.
Much less. But in the context of Victorian gentlemen, it highlights a particular kind of quiet, almost formal bond that was highly valued. It implies mutual respect, a shared routine, and perhaps a deep unspoken understanding that transcends mere, effusive conversation or outward emotional displays.
Right, they don't need constant chat.
Exactly. Their companionship is built on this foundation of routine, shared observations, and an implicit trust. This understated, almost formal bond is precisely what allows the shocking, almost unbelievable story Enfield is about to tell to unfold so naturally, so casually, within their established, quiet ritual.
Hmm.
It speaks to a certain reserve, a reluctance to pry, maybe, that define many respectable relationships of the era.
As they continue their walk, Stevenson masterfully uses setting and imagery, doesn't he, to immediately establish a mood of profound mystery and this underlying tension that kind of belies the calm Sunday.
Absolutely, the visuals are key.
They begin in a florid thoroughfare, a street of inviting, bustling shops that almost seem to smile at their customers. It's a picture of cheerful, respectable public life in London.
Very carefully curated image. Victorian prosperity, order.
Social grace, all that. But then this inviting scene is abruptly, jarringly interrupted. There's a neglected building, and crucially, its blistered and disdained door stands out in stark, almost aggressive contrast to its pleasant surrounding.
Yeah, that jumps out at you.
This powerful visual juxtaposition isn't accidental. It's a deliberate artistic choice, surely.
Oh, definitely.
The cheerful, polished public face of London is suddenly set against a hidden, decaying element. It immediately suggests that beneath the veneer of respectability, there's a hidden ugliness, something unkempt, something perhaps even sinister lurking just out of sight.
Yeah.
That door itself, in this context, becomes an extraordinarily potent symbol. It's not just an entrance. It represents secrets, forbidden entry, and the unsettling idea that something unsavory, something morally grotesque, is concealed behind a facade of urban normality.
It's a portal, isn't it? A portal to the unknown, hinting at that pervasive theme of secrecy and the duality of outward appearance versus inner reality that just runs through the whole novel.
Absolutely.
And Stevenson's narrative choices, right from these opening moments, are masterful in building this suspense.
How so?
Well, the narrative initially places us squarely within Utterson's perspective. We see the world through his measured, rational, somewhat detached gaze.
Okay, so we identify with him.
Right, we line with a character who values order and seeks logical explanations. However, the crucial shift occurs when the central mystery, the story of the door, is introduced not directly through an omniscient narrator, but through Enfield's casual, almost you could say gossipy storytelling.
It's secondhand.
It's a secondhand anecdotal account shared during a routine walk. And this narrative choice is incredibly effective in controlling information and building curiosity.
Ah, I see.
We, the readers, like Utterson, receive the core mystery of Mr. Hyde through an indirect, almost offhand conversation. This method amplifies its unsettling nature precisely because it's filtered through another character's experience.
Making us lean in.
Exactly, making us, along with Utterson, desperate to know more. It's a subtle but brilliant way of drawing us into the mystery, making us active participants in unraveling it, rather than just passive recipients of information.
Right.
It highlights how rumors and fragmented observations often form the foundation of truth, or perceived truth, in this tightly laced society.
Okay, so let's get to that story Enfield tells. It really is the pivot point of the chapter, isn't it?
Undeniably. It introduces this chilling incident that immediately brands Mr. Hyde as a figure of pure, inexplicable malevolence.
Yeah.
Enfield recounts witnessing this shocking event in the black winter morning hours, a setting that already imbues the scene with a sense of bleakness, anonymity, and foreboding.
Sets the mood.
Definitely. It's a time when respectable London is still asleep, a time often associated with, well, illicit activities and darker deeds unfolding unnoticed. The low visibility, the early hour, it all contributes to the unreality of the horror that's about to unfold.
So the chilling detail, the one that defines Hyde from the start.
Yes, the one etched into our minds. Enfield describes a little man, Mr. Hyde, who trampled calmly over the child's body and left her screaming on the ground.
Trampled calmly.
Let's just sit with that phrase for a moment. Trampled calmly is a profound, almost nauseating oxymoron, a deliberate contradiction of terms.
It doesn't make sense.
Exactly. To trample implies violence, brute force, a lack of control, an impulsive act of aggression. To do so calmly speaks to an utterly inhuman indifference, a terrifying absence of conscience, a chilling dispassion in the face of suffering.
It's not rage.
No, it's not an accident, it's not an act of rage, it's calculated, unfeeling, almost mechanical cruelty. This single phrase profoundly reveals Hyde's inherently deeply evil nature. He's not merely clumsy or careless, he is devoid of empathy.
A creature.
A creature whose actions defy normal human emotional responses. He leaves the child screaming, utterly unconcerned. His selfishness, his utter disregard for society and human life are immediately, shockingly laid bare.
Like a void where a soul should be.
That's a powerful way to put it, yes. A void. Far more unsettling than simple malice.
And Enfield's reaction to this act isn't just descriptive, it's key to understanding Hyde's monstrous quality, right?
Absolutely.
He says, it sounds nothing to hear, but it was hellish to see. It wasn't like a man, it was like some damn juggernaut. That simile, comparing Hyde to a juggernaut, is incredibly powerful, isn't it?
Immensely powerful. A juggernaut is this massive, unstoppable force of destruction, crushing everything indiscriminately in its path.
Right.
By likening Hyde to such a force, Enfield emphasizes his monstrous non-human quality. It conveys a feeling of overwhelming terror, a sense that Hyde is beyond the realm of ordinary humanity, beyond reason or appeal.
Just pure force.
Pure, unbridled, almost mindless destruction. It instantly establishes him as this brutal, animal-like force that simply does not fit with the respectable, civilized people of London.
It's a profoundly effective way for Stevenson to convey the sheer primal horror Hyde evokes, setting him apart as something fundamentally, terrifyingly other.
It really is, and this immediately leads us to consider the crucial social and historical context, Victorian morality, the paramount importance of reputation.
Okay, yeah.
Immediately after the trampling, Enfield describes the spontaneous public outcry, a group about the screaming child, and the unified indignation that compelled Hyde to return.
The crowd reacts instantly.
Instantly. Absolutely and severely. It's a clear reflection of the immense pressure of public opinion in Victorian society. Their threat is potent, maybe even more so than legal action might have been for such an incident.
Was the threat again?
We told the man we could and would make such a scandal out of this as should make his name stink from one end of London to the other.
Wow. Reputation is everything.
Absolutely everything. In an era where your public image and moral standing were paramount, a scandal could utterly destroy your life, livelihood, social standing. The fear of public disgrace, of having your name stink, was a significant deterrent, often more feared than legal repercussions.
So this mob mentality unified in moral outrage.
It reveals the collective power of social censure, a force that even Hyde, monstrous as he is, cannot entirely ignore.
And it's fascinating, then, to observe Hyde's reaction to this potent threat. He offers compensation, right, to avoid a public scene.
Exactly, and cynically declares, no gentleman but wishes to avoid a scene.
The irony.
It's thick, isn't it? Hyde is clearly no gentleman in spirit or action, having just committed an act of casual, inhumane brutality. Yet he understands, and more chillingly, he manipulates the social codes of the era.
He knows the rules.
He knows the rules. He knows that even though he is depraved, the societal pressure to maintain appearances, to avoid public embarrassment, is so strong that he can use it to his advantage.
So he pays up.
He's willing to pay a substantial sum, not out of remorse or genuine repentance, obviously, but purely to evade the social repercussions and preserve some kind of facade of order.
So that act of civility.
It reveals his true character. Manipulative, cunning, completely devoid of genuine morality, yet chillingly capable of navigating the superficial rules of Victorian society. It's a stark contrast that immediately and profoundly hints at the novel's central theme of duality.
The ability for true depravity to exist right alongside and even exploit the rigid conventions of respectability.
Precisely.
And this brings us to the critical themes immediately introduced here. Firstly, that glaring theme of innocence and violence.
Right. The helpless, screaming child becomes the first victim of Hyde's brutality. Her vulnerability, juxtaposed with the casualness of his act, immediately establishes him as a force of pure, unrestrained evil within the narrative.
He's the embodiment of humanity's dark impulses.
Unleashed and unchecked, yes. This incident, though seemingly self-contained, hints powerfully at the novel's overarching theme of the duality of human nature.
How so?
While Hyde's seemingly civilized act of paying compensation is merely a thin facade for his inner animal-like fury, that stark, unsettling contrast between outward performance and inner reality.
He can play the game.
He can perform an action that satisfies societal demands while his true nature is utterly savage. This early presentation foreshadows the profound struggle between outward respectability and inner depravity that will be explored throughout the entire narrative.
Setting the stage for the horror to come.
Exactly. It's Stevenson saying, look closely, this respectable society has a monstrous underbelly.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, I think. The plot takes its first truly mysterious turn, planting that seed of doubt that grows into the novel's central horror.
The payment.
Hyde's payment for trampling the child doesn't come from his own pocket, as you might expect from this little man who seems to emerge from the shadows. Instead, it comes in the form of a check, signed by a well-known and respectable man, none other than Dr. Jekyll.
Dun 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 dun.
Pretty much. Now, consider Enfield's reaction, and by extension, our own. His initial natural suspicion is that the check must be a forgery.
A perfectly reasonable assumption.
Absolutely, given Hyde's repugnant demeanor and the sheer heinousness of the act he just committed. But then, to Enfield's utter surprise, the check proves absolutely authentic.
Which changes everything.
Completely. It immediately raises this crucial, baffling, and deeply unsettling question. What is the nature of Hyde's connection to Jekyll?
Is it blackmail?
That's what Enfield suspects, right? Hyde holding some dark secret over the respected doctor. Is it a clandestine alliance of some kind? A secret partnership that defies all logic?
Or something stranger?
Or something even more sinister, something beyond the realm of normal human understanding, maybe something almost supernatural. This single authenticated check plants the first insidious seed of Jekyll's secret and deceitful life.
It's the first real crack in Jekyll's facade.
It is. The very first hint that the upright Dr. Jekyll, a man of such high standing and impeccable reputation in Victorian society, has a hidden dark side, a secret entanglement that threatens to utterly dismantle his entire public image.
This revelation immediately makes us, the listeners, as curious, as disturbed, and as profoundly suspicious as Utterson himself.
It's a masterful stroke of narrative economy, really.
It is, and this connection profoundly impacts our understanding of the setting and symbolism, particularly regarding that mysterious building and its blighted door.
Ah, the Black Mail House.
Exactly. Enfield, out of his suspicion and confusion about Hyde's mysterious source of funds, begins colloquially referring to the building as the Black Mail House. This informal yet deeply suggestive label solidifies the door's symbolic meaning, pushing it far beyond mere architecture.
It's not just decay anymore.
No, it's no longer just a blistered and disdained facade. It becomes a powerful, almost menacing symbol of hidden transactions, clandestine activities, and that pervasive theme of secrecy that just saturates Victorian society.
Right.
The door, as we discussed earlier, is already ambiguous, but now it directly represents the hidden, unsavory dealings that Victorian society preferred to keep out of sight, locked away behind a respectable facade. It implies something illicit, something that shouldn't see the light of day.
And you mentioned the peculiar nature of the building itself.
Right, which Enfield subtly emphasizes. He notes its indistinct boundaries and uncertain purpose. It isn't clear where one building ends and the next begins, or what exactly its rooms are used for, or if they're even occupied.
So the building itself is confusing.
This architectural ambiguity mirrors the novel's overarching mystery and the blurred lines between good and evil, between public facade and private depravity. The physical confusion of the building itself reflects the moral confusion that Hyde's existence brings to the seemingly ordered, rational world of Victorian London.
Visually embodying the secrets.
Exactly. The very foundations of truth becoming indistinct, much like the building's walls. It's a place that seems to defy logical categorization, just as Hyde defies human understanding.
Stevenson's narrative structure continues to play such a vital role here, showcasing his genius for building suspense.
Definitely.
The revelation of Jekyll's name, through this indirect means a check tied to a horrific, unprovoked act of violence, creates immediate intrigue and profound suspicion, doesn't it?
Absolutely. We're not explicitly told about Jekyll's involvement or his relationship with Hyde. Instead, we infer it from the evidence, just as Utterson does.
And this indirect method is absolutely key to drawing the reader deeper into the mystery.
It is. We're left to speculate and infer, much like Utterson, who is about to embark on his own investigation. The lack of explicit answers at this stage makes the enigma of Jekyll and Hyde far more compelling, far more unsettling.
Pushing us to ask, how is this possible?
Right. What is the hidden connection that links these two utterly disparate figures? It's a masterstroke in building suspense and this insatiable desire for resolution that hooks you from the very first chapter.
Okay, so after Enfield's shocking tale, our focus shifts back to Mr. Utterson and his immediate profound reaction.
Yes, a subtle but deeply significant moment for his character. It reveals those hidden depths beneath his reserved exterior.
Right.
Stevenson highlights Utterson's characteristic restraint. He sighed deeply but said never a word.
Quiet but significant.
Very. This outwardly quiet response belies a profound internal shift, a ripple through his carefully ordered world. Despite his backward in sentiment nature, meaning he's slow to express and perhaps even feel overt emotion, Enfield's story has clearly struck a deep, unsettling chord within him.
He's processing.
He is. Utterson's reserved exterior hides a truly profound internal response, as the unsettling, inexplicable facts about Hyde begin to churn relentlessly in his rational, lawyerly mind. He's wrestling with something that defies his understanding of human nature and societal order.
This silent response immediately gives way to an intense, quiet obsession, though, doesn't it?
It does. Utterson's first concrete action, almost imperceptibly, is to question Enfield about Hyde using a key to the mysterious door.
The key detail.
This seemingly small detail reveals his underlying detective-like qualities, his ingrained need for logic and understanding. He's a man of facts, of order, of legalities, and this anomaly, this strange connection, this key, begins to unravel his calm composure.
And his subsequent decision.
His subsequent decision, as we see at the end of the chapter, to inquire about Mr. Hyde and watches the door, further solidifies his role as a relentless seeker of truth.
Driven by concern for Jekyll.
Driven by a deep, albeit hidden, concern for his friends, even when it leads him into dark, unsavory territory. This interest isn't just professional curiosity, it's deeply personal, an implicit desire to protect his friend Jekyll from whatever dark entanglement he suspects.
It's his loyalty, that IV affection.
That begins to compel him, silently, to act.
Yes, and this brings us to one of the most striking thematic elements underscored in Chapter 1. The pervasive themes of secrecy and reputation, powerfully reinforced by that concluding bargain never to refer to this again between Utterson and Enfield.
Ah, yes, the pact of silence.
This pact is far more than just a casual agreement between friends, isn't it? It powerfully reinforces the pervasive Victorian cultural norm of avoiding gossip and, more importantly, preserving appearances, even at the costly expense of confronting uncomfortable truths.
Keep it hidden.
Exactly. In a society so utterly obsessed with respectability, acknowledging such an unsavory incident, especially one now implicitly linked to a well-known and respectable man like Dr. Jekyll, well, it would be disastrous.
It suggests a profound societal preference for maintaining a pristine, polished veneer, for actively not acknowledging the ugliness lurking beneath its surface, even among close confidants who are aware of it.
A collective denial.
A collective denial, a refusal to see the cracks in the facade.
Yeah. And here's the crucial paradox, right? This agreement, this decision not to speak of the incident again, only intensifies Utterson's private search for Hyde.
Right. Instead of dismissing the matter, the very act of suppressing the information publicly makes the secret even more compelling, more irresistible for him.
It fuels his inner compulsion to understand.
To uncover the truth, yes, laying the essential groundwork for Chapter 2, where he will actively and relentlessly begin his investigation.
So the act of societal repression.
Of keeping something hidden doesn't make it disappear, it simply drives it deeper, making the mystery of Hyde and his connection to Jekyll an immediate, consuming, and terrifying driving force for the rest of the narrative.
It's Stevenson's subtle commentary on the dangers of a society that values appearance over truth.
Absolutely. So if we connect all these threads to the bigger picture, Chapter 1, Story of the Door, serves as the absolutely crucial exposition of the strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
The foundation.
It's not merely an opening, it's the meticulously constructed, intricate foundation upon which the entire edifice of the novel is built, brick by unsettling brick.
Okay.
Firstly, it masterfully introduces the primary characters and their core psychological traits. We meet Mr. Utterson, our main perspective character, whose cautious loyalty, quiet investigative nature, and suppressed emotional landscape will guide us through the unfolding mystery.
Our guide.
Our guide. We also get our first terrifying glimpse of the shadowy Mr. Hyde, a figure of pure, inexplicable, and profoundly unsettling evil, whose very presence causes a visceral revulsion. And crucially, the implied yet critical presence of Dr. Jekyll is established through Hyde's inexplicable, baffling connection to him, instantly raising urgent questions about this respected doctor and the very nature of his virtue.
Sets up the tension immediately.
Psychological tension within Utterson, societal tension within London.
Yes, absolutely. And this chapter immediately establishes the central mystery and conflict of the novel. The inexplicable evil of Hyde, epitomized by his calm, calculated trampling of a child, and the baffling, dark, almost incomprehensible connection he has to the seemingly virtuous, respected Dr. Jekyll.
That core enigma.
This core enigma, this profound duality presented from the outset, it's the engine of the entire plot, isn't it? Creating a powerful narrative drive that compels not only Utterson, but also us, the readers, to relentlessly seek answers.
What could possibly link these two polar opposite figures? One, a beacon of Victorian respectability, the other, a monstrous embodiment of depravity.
That's the question that grips you from the very beginning, a question that will unravel society's deepest fears about the true nature of man.
Furthermore, Story of the Door effectively sets the ominous, suspenseful tone and the pervasive, mysterious mood that permeates the entire narrative.
How so?
Well, it's largely achieved through Enfield's fearful, visceral description of Hyde, the shocking nature of the trampling incident, and the perplexing, ambiguous nature of the blackmail house itself.
Right, all those elements.
The stark juxtaposition of respectable London with its hidden decay, the casual brutality witnessed in the cold light of day, and the unexplained connection between two such disparate figures all contribute to an overwhelming atmosphere of unease and dread.
The tone is formal, Victorian.
But the mood is distinctly, chillingly unsettling, almost like a premonition of the horrors to come. It's the subtle art of Stevenson drawing us into a world where familiar rules no longer seem to apply. Finally, and most importantly, this single chapter lays the foundational groundwork for the novel's most profound and enduring themes.
Okay, let's recap those.
The shocking incident and the mysterious connection immediately introduce the theme of the duality of human nature, that terrifying idea that every individual, no matter how respectable, might be capable of harboring both good and evil.
And that there might be a hidden, darker self struggling for dominance.
Precisely. It highlights the critical importance of reputation in Victorian society, revealing how far individuals and society itself will go to preserve their public image, even if it means concealing horrifying truths beneath a veneer of decorum.
Right, the secrecy.
The pact of silence between Utterson and Enfield and the very concept of the hidden door emphasize the pervasive, almost suffocating presence of secrecy within the society.
And the science angle.
And of course, the mention of Jekyll as a doctor, combined with the inexplicable, almost monstrous nature of Hyde, powerfully hints at the dangerous intersection of science and the supernatural, foreshadowing how Jekyll's experiments will blur the lines between reason, morality, and the unexplained.
Wow. So much packed into one chapter.
This chapter plants seeds that will blossom into the full horror, the profound philosophical questions, and the ultimate tragedy of the story, making it an indispensable cornerstone of the entire narrative. So, to summarize Chapter 1's critical developments, we are introduced to the shocking, utterly repellent figure of Mr. Hyde, a creature of immediate and inherent evil whose calm brutality is profoundly disturbing.
And blank.
And bafflingly, we discover his inexplicable, unsettling link to the respected Dr. Jekyll, a man who epitomizes Victorian virtue and social standing. This immediate, jarring juxtaposition of good and evil, respectability and depravity, is the beating heart of the chapter, crafting an enigma that demands to be solved.
And this opening chapter is far more than just a beginning. It's the powerful, inciting incident that propels the entire narrative forward.
Absolutely.
It crafts a compelling, deeply unsettling enigma that immediately sets Utterson's investigation in motion, driven by his unwavering loyalty to Jekyll and his keen lawyer's instinct for the truth, for order, for justice. The core conflict, struggle between good and evil, the desperate attempt to keep that struggle hidden from the public eye, and the societal pressures that demand such concealment is immediately established, making us desperate for answers.
Leaves you wanting more.
Definitely. The unsettling image of Hyde and his mysterious connection to Jekyll is firmly, disturbingly embedded in our minds.
Indeed. With that powerful, unsettling image of Hyde and the mysterious connection to Jekyll firmly in our minds, the next chapter will see Utterson embark on a determined, almost obsessive search for Hyde, driven by his loyalty and his lawyer's instinct for the truth.
Can't wait to see what happens there.
What will he discover when he finally comes face to face with this detestable figure? And how will it deepen the profound mystery, the terrifying duality that Stevenson has so brilliantly begun to unravel?
Thank you for joining us on this literary journey. Hit subscribe and share to become part of our AI-human collaboration, where every listener helps shape future episodes.